Success Explainer. Today, we're unpacking some fascinating and, honestly, kind of terrifying concepts from Nicholas Carr's book, The Shallows. We're going to uncover exactly how our daily tech habits aren't just distracting us, they're actively, physically rewiring the structure of our minds. So, if you've ever felt like your brain just doesn't work the way it used to, you are absolutely in the right place. Let's get right to it. Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to be completely honest with yourself for a second. Can you sit down right now and finish a long, challenging chapter in a book without getting distracted? Or do you find your hands almost unconsciously twitching, wanting to reach for your phone to check social media reels after just a few sentences? Take a moment to really reflect on that struggle, because it's more common right now than ever before in human history. If you find it incredibly difficult to focus lately, I want to reassure you right out of the gate. This lack of focus isn't some personal failure. You haven't just lost your willpower. It's actually the direct result of the internet fundamentally changing how our brains operate. I mean, think about the difference. Reading a book requires a slow, sequential, and deeply focused mindset. But scrolling through social media, that trains the brain for fast, erratic, jumping from one fragmented idea to the next, constantly seeking that hit of instant gratification. By engaging with that constant scroll, we're literally training ourselves out of the ability to focus. Which brings us to Section 1, the science of rewiring. To truly understand why this happens, we have to look under the hood. The core concept we need to grasp here is neuroplasticity. For a really long time, it was widely believed that the adult brain was basically a fixed machine. Like once you reached a certain age, the hardware was set in stone. But modern neuroscience has proven that's completely false. The brain is a highly adaptable organ. Its structure and its neural networks are constantly modifying and changing throughout your entire life in response to what you do every single day. It's exactly like a muscle, it adapts to the specific exercises you put it through. And this brilliantly illustrates the point. Scientists actually conducted a famous study on London taxi drivers. Back before GPS, these drivers had to manually memorize thousands of complex streets and routes. And the researchers found that these drivers actually developed an enlarged hippocampus. That's the specific brain region responsible for spatial memory and navigation. Because they spent their days constantly navigating, their behavior physically altered the size and function of their brain. Your daily habits literally shape the physical hardware inside your head. No way around it. Moving on to Section 2, History of Brain-Altering Tech. Now, you might be thinking the internet is the first thing to do this to us, but technology altering our brains is actually a centuries-old phenomenon. We can trace this evolution way back through history. Think about the era before the mechanical clock. Time was just a feeling, dictated by the sun and the seasons. Then someone invents the mechanical clock, and suddenly our brains are rewired to measure exact seconds, creating this brand new human anxiety over deadlines and strict productivity. So yeah, we can jokingly blame the inventor of the clock for all our modern stress. Later, the printing press came along. Before it, all human knowledge had to be memorized. The printing press shifted knowledge from our internal biological memory to external paper. It organized our thoughts beautifully, but it definitely weakened our internal memory muscles. And today, the internet is shifting us once again, this time towards rapid skimming and reduced overall comprehension. This brings up a really fascinating historical debate that philosophers and scientists have argued over for decades. On one side, some argue that technology is simply a neutral tool. It has no intent, it's governed entirely by human values and how we choose to use it. On the flip side, many argue that technology is a pervasive system. They believe that tech inherently forces new behaviors upon us and alters our minds simply by its very design, completely regardless of our intentions. It's a pretty powerful debate to keep in mind as we look at our own screens. Let's move to Section 3, the memory traffic jam, and see how this builds into our next major issue. You see, the modern internet doesn't just change how we read, it uniquely threatens our actual memory retention. To understand the damage, you kind of have to look at the bottleneck effect. Your brain operates with two main types of memory. Your short-term memory is incredibly fast, but it has a highly limited capacity. It's just a temporary holding zone. Then there's your long-term memory, which is your permanent storage. But transferring information there takes work. It requires deep focus, repetition, and context. When you jump rapidly between apps, videos, and tabs, you're completely overloading that limited short-term memory. It creates a massive traffic jam, preventing any meaningful information from making the journey into your long-term memory. Let's actually test this in real time. I challenge you right now. Can you name the last 5 Reels, TikToks, or social media posts you looked at yesterday? Take a second. It's almost impossible, isn't it?
That is undeniable proof that constant scrolling bypasses your long-term memory entirely. You consume the content, it clogs up the short-term memory, and then it simply vanishes.
And the scary part is, this doesn't just apply to funny videos. It bleeds into your everyday life. Do you find yourself forgetting daily tasks and appointments, losing track of important phone numbers, blinking on the names of people you actually know, or forgetting recent events as if they never even happened? How about constantly having to reset your email passwords? It's really easy to laugh these off as random brain farts, but they really aren't. These common modern memory lapses are direct symptoms of spending way too much time rapidly scrolling and overloading your brain's processing capacity.
Section 4. Data versus true knowledge.
Now, let's shift our focus to the newest frontier, artificial intelligence, and how digital tools are altering the very way we learn. Now, what's really interesting about this is the critical difference it highlights between merely gathering data and actually building knowledge. With AI tools like ChatGPT, we have instant access to data. It's raw, it's immediate, but it is entirely surface level. True knowledge, however, relies exclusively on human processing. Building knowledge requires taking the slow, deliberate time to understand deeply, to reflect, and to build connections between ideas. An AI can give you a summary, sure, but it absolutely cannot give you the wisdom that comes from wrestling with a concept yourself. And here is a pretty harsh warning for anyone who loves efficient learning. If you constantly rely on AI tools to do the heavy lifting, like writing your emails, structuring your arguments, or solving math problems, your brain will gradually lose those fundamental skills. By outsourcing your deep thinking to digital tools, you just stop building real cognitive muscle. You end up just skimming over concepts without ever truly mastering them.
Which takes us to our final part, Section 5, Surviving the Attention Economy.
So, why is the digital world built this way? Well, to understand that, we need to look at the underlying business model that profits directly off our distracted minds. Welcome to the attention economy. This is a digital ecosystem where your human attention is treated as a highly valuable, heavily traded currency. Tech companies capture your attention to generate data, which in turn generates immense profit. Every single social media algorithm is deliberately, brilliantly designed to provide instant gratification for one singular purpose: to hold your attention hostage. This fundamentally changes how we approach not just our phones, but our real-life relationships, our patience, and our long-term goals. In the face of all this, we really have to remember what makes us uniquely human. Our true value isn't in how fast we can process data or spit out an answer like a machine. Not at all. It resides in our capacity for deep reflection and patience. It's in our incredible ability to create and innovate. It is in our endurance to sit with our own thoughts, to experience boredom without instantly reaching for stimulation. Ultimately, our humanity is our power to convert raw, meaningless data into true wisdom. So, the crucial point is this. The solution isn't to run away to the woods. You don't have to quit technology completely. It's an amazing tool, but you absolutely must stay conscious of it. You have to actively protect your mind from being unconsciously rewired by the platforms you use. Don't allow yourself to become just a human keyboard, mindlessly ferrying prompts into an AI and pasting the answers. Engage your brain. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to take into the rest of your day. Will you let algorithms quietly dictate the structure of your mind, or will you consciously, deliberately choose what truly deserves your attention today? The power to reclaim your focus is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for exploring this explainer with me today. I really hope it helps you view your digital habits in a completely new light.